storyteller, and let me find their bios because they are very acclaimed, so I don't want to forget that. We're going to begin with the beautiful Paulette Atencio. She is a master bilingual storyteller for over 20 years. She was born and raised in the community of Peñasco, New Mexico, and has lived parts of her life in Chama. She has published a collection of authentic stories and cuentos, titled Cuentos from Long Ago and Cuentos of My Childhood. Let's see, there's more here. Legends and Folk Tales of Northern New Mexico. Her most recent publication is Pieces of My Broken Life. Throughout the years, her stories have intrigued the young and old and come largely through memorable experiences of listening to her mother's stories, full of comedy, romance, tragedy, and even witchcraft. Her stories focus on New Mexico traditions and what it means to be of Hispanic descent. Let us give a round of applause to our master storyteller, Paulette Atencio.
Thank you so much, everybody. It is a real honor and a privilege to be with all of you this evening. For the people that do not know me, my name is Paulette Atencio. And I know that we don't have a lot of time because we have to stay on schedule. But the story or the cuento that I'm going to relate to you this evening is called Dancing with a Ghost. In a long time ago, in a very far away pueblo, there was this young man, and he had just come back from the armed forces, and he heard that there was a dance, and so he went and he got himself all ready, and he went and he got in his old beat-up troquita, and there he was driving through a dusty and a dirty road. And all of a sudden, he looked to the side of the road, and there was a girl as she was hitching a ride. Anyway, he looked, and he slammed on the brakes, and he looked. He rolled down his window, and he said, "Where are you going, my friend?" And she said, "Well, I heard that there is a dance, and the dance is my destiny." And the young man said, "Well, that is where I'm going. Come, I'll give you a ride." And when they were driving, they didn't talk a lot. They mostly exchanged names. And her name was Crucita Delgado. And when they got into the dance hall, Crucita was looking at everything as though she had never seen it before. Everywhere she kept looking. And she was staring at all the people, one by one. And she didn't recognize them. And all the people were looking at her in return. They knew who the soldier was, but they didn't know who the young, beautiful girl was. And her hair was combed way up high in a Gatsby hairdo. And she was wearing a long black dress with a high collar and a cameo pin. And her shoes were black, and they were just tied upwards, and they looked just like those shoes that the elders had worn long ago. Well, then the music started playing, and the soldier, he wanted to show her off. "Ande María, que vamos a bailar." And María would say, no, que no quiero bailar. No. "Anda María, para eso vinimos a bailar, vente." And he started to pull her, and he pulled her here, and he pulled her there, and he pulled her everywhere. And a few fast turns, and pow, down she went. And the soldier, he was so embarrassed, and the people were trying hard not to laugh at her. And the soldier, he went and he picked her up, and they went outside. And they stayed there for a while, and then they came back in. And this time, the music was all different, and it was music from long ago. Oh, and Maria, she was so excited, and she could not contain herself. "Anda, soldado, que vamos a bailar, vente, vamos a bailar." No, danced and they danced. And pretty soon, they made a big, big, big circle around her. And she became the belle of the dance. But then, the dance was coming to an end. And the musicians started playing the Home Sweet Home. And that meant that the dance was coming to an end. And when they were going outside, the soldier went and he placed his trench coat over Maria's shoulders. And Maria went and said, I don't want you to take me all the way home. I want you to drop me off at the same place where you picked me up. And so that is what they did. But all night long, the soldier, he didn't sleep. And he tossed and he turned and he said, I think I'm in love. The next morning he got up and he drove his old beat up troquita. And he kept looking, but he could not even see a house. So he went walking, and pretty soon he saw this old adobe house, and there was smoke that was coming out of the chimney. And he went and he started knocking and knocking, but nobody answered. So he knocked some more, and then an old lady came to the door. What do you want? And the soldier said, Oh, Senora, I am looking for Maria. And the old lady said, Go away, go away. Why, oh, why are you trying to scare me? Maria doesn't live here anymore. And the soldier said, Ay, con perdón de usted, señora, but I don't want to scare you. Those are not my intentions. You know, last night I met Maria, and she was not only the most beautiful girl that I had ever seen, but she was the best dancer, and all I want is to see her again. So the old lady said, Come with me. There is something that I want to show you. And the soldier said, Where, oh, where is she taking me? But he didn't dare to ask. And then he knew they were at the cemetery. And the soldier, he started looking around, and he saw his trench coat, and he was draped over a headstone. And very slowly he went and he removed it, and he began to read Maria Delgado, the date that she had been born and the date that she had died. And the soldier, he cried, because for the first time he realized that all night long he had been dancing with a ghost.